Hurry, Gucci, or not, or not, or not. I think we should be good, yeah. Man, this point has been good every time. Or not, or not. Oh yeah. Also, no, I've been noticing the music is quite loud in this shit. It's something weird's going on. Like, when the stream first goes live on YouTube after it ends, the audio mixing is like one way, but then when the processing finishes, it like the audio levels change. Like when I'm not speaking, the audio is like way louder. But then when I speak, it goes really quiet. So it's doing some kind of like post-processing that I'm not like selecting for it to do. So I'm not sure how to put this while we're live anymore. Anyways, let's get a chat open here. Then we'll update our levels and be on the way. Cool. Okay, okay. Boom, boom, boom. What should we call this? Waiting for the move. Waiting for the move. Okay. Update our levels. Pretty boring day though, right? Oh, also, man, this Dell thing. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, look what this thing ended up doing. Fuck, 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 fuck. Let me mute that. It's not pinging the whole stream. I'm definitely gonna be watching for this to be breaking out in the higher time frame though, right? If this thing starts to do like another leg up from here. How's oil coming along? And Palantir today, like, I mean, we're still in this thing. Like, we're pretty far from our entry still, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, ideally, not want to be seeing a huge red dildo off the 50 moving average. But we'll see. Boom, 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 boom. The levels, the levels. Six oh 7-2. Six 5 6 2 8. Yeah, I mean, in terms of what we talked about yesterday, nothing particularly interesting, right? Kind of talked about this whole like, these are the two levels we had marked out, right? It was like this and this. So far, like, we did get the bounce here. Not looking particularly strong though. Like, we ended up getting like barely any closes up or below this level once we reclaimed it. And all these candles just ding, 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 all closing above. Still, you have to close below, but not the greatest of lows we're leaving behind here, right? Two poor lows in a row now. Let's see what the order book's looking. Because that's the reason why we haven't nuked down, right? Kind of all the orders we were talking about yesterday. Just absorbing this move down so far, but they are getting through that slowly but surely. Let's just take a quick glance at how that's looking. Also close this for now. Because I saw that some of the walls got pulled, like the lower one. Like they moved it down to like 64. Like just make a point of control. Yeah, in terms of like the whole short thing we talked about yesterday, right? If you were gonna take like this bearish retrace, yeah, I mean you would have like most likely, unless you got like a pretty pixel perfect juicy fill and then make a point of control tap, quite likely you would have got stopped out break even at this point. But if you didn't, you're still in it, right? You might potentially be getting into juice in this move down now. Sketchy though, sketchy. Because like, there's a bunch of like hidden bull divs printing everywhere. And like the open interest that we were talking about that opened on this whole leg up. Has to basically reset or like back down to like where it was before the pump. Anyways, let's answer these texts now real quick. So how's all this stuff looking? For that for now. What is that? How did this do? Boom, 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 boom. Oh yeah, the messages. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Okay, okay, okay. I don't think it's changed too much. I was looking at this after whilst the gym, so I don't think we missed too much today. How's that coming along though? Quite the fall off, right? When we were talking about this thing when it was like pumping to all-time highs, this thing's corrected quite a lot. Huge breakdown. We'll leave this on this for now. I mean, for now we just chill, right? For now we kind of just have to chill. Wait and see if we're gonna come tap this level and reverse or not, or if this ends up holding. I do need to get something to snack on though, because boy, I'm hungry. Oh, I'm hungry. Hungry as a motherfucker. Actually, I'm gonna do that now before I forget. Chasing cloud, I'm stacking like crema. Yeah, got that Fibonacci lined up right. 618 hit, now we taking flight. Touch that zone, then boom, ignite. All locked, it's a Friday night. She like que tú haces con esos números. Hace mami, yo calculo la luna. No feelings, just targets y estructuras. Stack profits con flow y con altura. Entrada perfecta, ey. Lo leo en la vela. Con flow y cabeza. Rayando esa tendencia. La entrada perfecta, ey. Marco con la receta, ey. De lunes a la fiesta. Take profit pa' la mesa. We don't chase, we let them come. Liquidity running while you playing dumb. Top down in that Lambo, son. But I charted that run since Candle One. Ella dice como tú sabías. Hace mirar delta, baby, poesía. Open interest, es mi guía. This not luck, it's geometría. She grinding slow while I mark my zone. Break up structure, now we in the zone. Trade talk sexy, she moans. Hit that level like you own. La entrada perfecta, ey. Timing que calienta. Precisión que revienta. Interesting level, right? If this level doesn't hold, it's gonna be pretty sus. I'll say that. Like, if this zone right here does not hold, pretty sus. What is the math looking like on this thing? Anything? Yeah, because like this is like the major like liquidity grab down here between like cleaning the poor low and the naked point of control. If we don't hold that, there's a naked point of control down here, right? And it's like this value high for the month. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Interesting bullish retest coming down here potentially. We'll leave it drawn like this for today. So everyone knows what's Gucci. Also, this VWAP, right? This is like the all-time high VWAP, which we haven't broke for the longest time. Actually, no, we're capping. We're capping. I hate how TradingView does this. Like, depending on the time frame you have the chart at. Oh, I'm just stupid. Okay, I was gonna say, like, I'm actually fucking. Well, whatever. Either way, what I was gonna say is valid. Depending on the time frame you have the chart at, and where you anchor the VWAP, it like loses the anchor eventually. If it goes too far back onto the chart, it just doesn't show the anchor anymore. But I forgot that like on this chart I have like just the one green line. Like I don't have the first band. On this one I do. It's like actually up here. Kind of threw me off for a second. I was gonna say, well, when the fuck do we get above it like this? But yeah, here it just like rejected the whole time. Like ding, ding, ding. Boom, 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 boom. But anyways, more about that later. Let's get some food. Get some food in our body. Boy.
Floating over the Mediterranean right now.
The map is the map. Penthouse balcony, the closet at my feet. Sipping something vintage, yeah, the victory is sweet. Stars out in the paper, smoke dancing in the air. Watching candles move, but I'm already there. Exotic views, turquoise water in the distance. Living out a dream with zero resistance. I saw the level coming from a mile away. Now I'm just flowing through a golden hour day. 618. The level's looking like a ghost. Raising up a glass. Yeah, we gotta make a toast. We just floating through the value, yeah, we high. Watching all the numbers paint a picture in the sky. Lavish life, exotic views, the energy is clean. A masterpiece of logic in a digital scene. The math is the math, keep the circle getting lifted. Everything is light, yeah, the atmosphere is shifted. Too easy. Custom linen flowing while the breeze is too short. I remember wanting this, now I'm wanting more. Not for the greed, just for the peace of the soul. Trading from a hammock, that was always the goal. Blueberry notes in the smoke, gas potent. Surgical with entries, keeping everyone focused. The laptop is open, but my mind is on the waves. Escape the 9 to 5, we no longer the slaves. High tier analyst, but I'm feeling like a king. Just a ghost in the machine, enjoying everything. Everything is weightless, the logic is timeless, the views are priceless. Value area high, value area low. Just let the money flow. We just floating through the value, yeah, we high. Watching all the numbers paint a picture in the sky. Lavish life, exotic views, the energy is clean. A masterpiece of logic in a digital scene. The math is the math, keep the circle getting lifted. Everything is light, yeah, the atmosphere is shifted. Too easy. Keep floating, run the math. Keep floating, run the math. Always prepared. High level vibes, digital soul. Marco Straits. Marco Straits. Believe. The math is the math. I see them battle when the screen turns red. Listen to the noise filling up their head. I'm looking at the auction, looking at the range. The logic stays the same even when the prices change. They want a magic trick, they want a lucky sign, but I'm just busy drawing out the 618 lines. Surgical execution while they're paralyzed by fear. The entry was decided long before we got here. You see the vision or you see the fog? You're reading the tape or just the blog. Some people see the truth, some people see the floor. I see the liquidity, then I'm asking for more. hitting every target while the city's asleep. Got some silk on, watching candles start to wig. You're looking for a reason, I'm just looking for the click. It's not about the feeling, it's not about the gas. It's the probability leading us to the success. Exotic locations, the connection is clean. A ghost with a purpose inside the machine. Value area high, value area low. The math doesn't care where you want it to go. Do you believe in the math? Do you see the only path? The volume is high, the logic is wrong. Do you believe in the math? Too easy. The math is the math. The math is the math. Believe. Believe.
The math is the math.
Marcos Trace. Marcos Trace. The math is the math. The math is the math. The math. Exalted location, the water is teal. She's looking at me, I'm looking at the yield. 50 floors up, yeah, the balcony is wide. She's sipping on something, I'm catching the tide. UK flow with the island soul. Surgical entries, I'm in full control. Custom silk on, yeah, it's feeling like a dream. High tier analyst leading the team. High in the hills with a batting, yeah. Trading the value is a mad thing, yeah. Afrobeat bounce and the rhythm is right. We don't see the sun, we just own the night. The math is a luxury vibe. Inside the pocket, providing for the tribe. Too easy.
Mr. Dev, hello, hello, hello. How do you guys have these Chinese, like, do I have like a virus? There's a Chinese symbol showing up in the chat. What is going on? What is happening? I mean, a big ass bowl of fruit and Greek yogurt, about to cow down. I don't see Chinese symbols. Oh, even worse. Even worse. Wait, what the hell? Wait, what did you write? When you wrote in the chat, what did you write? What was your first message? Because it says, it has like this like Chinese looking symbol, and then it says hello, but when I hover my mouse over it, it says hola. So maybe this is like a translation symbol or something, I don't know. Interesting. What if I do it? Oh, that is what you wrote. Odd. That's so odd. Like, this is what I see on my screen. I guess I can just screenshot it, right? But when I hover my mouse over it, it says what you actually wrote. That's odd. Very odd. And you get a napkin. Translating from Spanish to English with a side of Chinese. Yeah, Chinese is like is a hard one. I think I only know one person in my entire life who bothered to learn Mandarin. Like who isn't like from that region. Pretty cool chick actually. Also like had like a pretty good idea what she wanted to do with her life very early on. Like I lived with her in university. She was on my floor in residence. And she was doing like international business. And she was learning Mandarin for that reason. And the whole point of everything was because she wanted to source this like weird popcorn chip thing from Mandarin. Or from China, sorry, and bring it to like North America. Like that was her business idea. And that's exactly what she ended up doing. Exactly what she ended up doing. So pretty interesting, right? To have like that idea like so set in your head from like 17, 18. What did we miss in terms of news? Probably not a whole lot. Popcorn chip? Yeah, I don't remember exactly what it was. Like, just so long ago, right? It's just like a decade ago at this point. But yeah, like some kind of like popcorn derivative. she made chips out of. But I ended up doing pretty well. Like she actually reached out to me like maybe like 2 years ago or something. I think it was before I even started trading, so maybe even like longer than that. Yeah, she's kind of giving me like the rundown of we were just like catching up talking, like we're just like a friendly conversation kind of thing. She was kind of going to depth explaining how like everything had come along and whatnot. Yeah, we didn't miss much. This looks interesting too, right? Yeah.
When the P&L is proudest.
Made it out the grind with nobody watching. Nobody in house now, but remember when I had nothing. Surgical precision. He slept on the vision, now he's standing there and waited.
Cold execution, build it from the bottom. Every sleepless night is something they forgot about. Cold execution, math was my religion. Got a Bugatti sitting pretty, that's the only decision. Only one, nobody called,
What are the rest of the earnings this week?
nobody checked, just me and the order book. Earning respect, blew the account, blew it, build it back up, build it, cried over losses.
Because Google kind of like had quite a bit of a sell-off. Tesla didn't do a whole lot. Where is this thing? Intel.
Made it out the ground with nobody watching. Nobody in house now, but remember when I had nothing. Surgical precision, every entry calculated. He slept on the vision, now he's standing there and waited.
Cold execution, build it from the bottom. Every sleepless night is something they forgot about. Cold execution, math was my religion. Got a Bugatti sitting pretty, that's the only decision.
Nice. Yeah, guys, this is exactly right. This is a perfect example of why like I take profit into these moves right away and then put my stop like at the actual low instead of like putting it break even like up there. If I had not done that, I literally would have got stopped out on this fucking trade, and then it's just right back to where it was. I mean, we'll see how it progresses, but yeah. Interesting. Interesting potential bounce coming on this thing, right? Yeah, a lot of these are pretty interesting. Right? Like a lot of these, like kind of like the tech related ones, either held with 50 or they're like about to reclaim it. I try to hop into some more of these, depending on how the week plays out. Smart play. That happens all the time, right? But it also depends. It really depends on like what kind of entry I got. Cause like let's say, I don't know, what would be an example? I suppose I got into like along like somewhere here before this whole move up. Now we get up to here. And like I would have taken profit at some point, quite likely at this point, but let's just suppose I did not. Sake of like this discussion. Let me also lower this a little bit. Like, so I get in here and then we start to go up and start to retrace, and I like draw a fib, and my like entry is like right at the golden pocket. Like for sure, I'm taking some off, right? Taking some off and putting my break even stop like way lower, whether it's like here or here. But like if I enter like down here, and then it does this retrace, like I'm just not touching at that point, right? I probably would have taken profit just to take some off the table, but in terms of like doing it for the purpose of getting my stop not tagged, I wouldn't do it. It just kind of depends like where my entry ends up being in regards to like the move afterwards. But a lot of times, like I always shave at VWAP, like pretty common, because most trades I'm taking are like I'm trying to catch the wick, right? So the price will be like coming down or going up. And in the case of going down, like VWAP is like lagging it like this way, and if it's going up, VWAP is like lagging it this way. So like, I'll catch like the short and then like shave, and then from there whatever. And same with this, I'll catch the long and then shave up here, and then from there. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? We're not. Another interesting chart, what was it? I was looking at today. This one. Like the solar ETF, like pulling right back into the 200 and this like big consolidation cluster. Well, I got some alarms to be monitoring this, how this starts playing out. I might hop in this little thing too. Dun, 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 dun. We'll see. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I'm leaving behind lots of single prints. Damn. What do we do?
Santorini sunset love. Santorini sunset laptop on the wood. Trading from the villa, yeah, the levels looking good. Got a dark skin beauty, she's a 10 out of 10.
Quite the wick, right?
While I'm checking on the Greeks, then I
Damn.
Glitters on our side, yeah, we're soaking up the sun. By the time the candle closes, yeah, the work is already done. No stress in my spirit, no fear in my soul.
Yeah, we just missed like the perfect long opportunity here, right? That's kind of that's a feels bad right there. Damn. Damn. I was at the gym. All this is happening, yo. Damn. Pixel perfect, right? To like cleaned up with poor lows, a single print, and make a point of control, right? To 786. Damn. Keep this in mind though, if this is gonna start to reverse for real, like I might try to hop in this depending on how this starts to shape up. Boom. They can start getting back above VWAP and like reclaiming these levels and like even like flip the previous day high. Might be worth putting in like a little bit of a thang. What does this even look like? What is this at? 428. Interesting. A bit unfortunate, right? A bit unfortunate. Would have been a pixel perfect fill with a shape at the VWAP, and now we just be chilling. Whatever happens, happens. Bit of a feels bad on that. Put an alarm above the VWAP for now. Let it go. Fortunately, we weren't prepared for that. Just how it goes sometimes. We weren't planned and prepared, and we missed it. Yeah, damn, man. Did anybody here buy the top of SpaceX? God damn. God damn. I don't even think the unlocks have even started yet, right? I think like the first set of unlocks is like in August. Boom. I don't know why people were in such a rush to buy that. Like, unless you're like a trader, I don't know why people were in a rush to buy that. Like, those IPOs almost always follow like the same fucking pattern, right? It's like just the initial like pump. It's like IPOs, the pump starts, then it just like, then it builds out like a base, and then it starts to like really go. It's like people like determine where the fair value is. The other thing too about SpaceX, which I didn't really get, people were so like hype over it, is like it's a pretty long-term play, right? From where they are now to what like their end game vision is quite a ways away. So like there's no rush to get into that thing. Are there any interesting videos we have not seen? Unless SpaceX one is 20. I don't know if it's, I don't think it's going that low. I don't think it's going that low. But we'll see. We'll see. Because yeah, like like this is quite the sell-off, right? As is. Like the question is, when the vesting goes online, like how many people are actually looking to sell out of it? Because not everyone that gets like their shares unlocked, it just sells it, right? They're in cold anyways. Some of them even bought them. I was reading how a lot of employees actually bought on the IPO even more. Might go that low if we crash. Possibly. Possibly. I feel like that'd be quite the correction though. I don't think like they're that like the banks that like ran the IPO, I don't think they like mispriced it that horribly. But, like they make a shit ton of money from running these IPOs, right? So it's like it's a part of like their vested interest, and I'll have them like completely fail. I think other companies that are private are like more hesitant to go public. But yeah, I suppose it is possible, right? Like what we go with the vesting schedule starts to unlock, and we get like a massive correction here, while the float is still relatively low. I think this thing is like pretty due for like I was reading online, like the short interest is getting pretty high on this, so there could be like a pretty big squeeze coming here soon. The bond market controls the stock market. Yeah, like I mean some capacity, yeah. Some capacity they do. On prices go sky high, free market crashes. Yeah, I mean it's not like guaranteed kind of thing, but I'm very curious about this like Eli Lilly company. Like, I've had this for the longest time. Like, I own some of this like from like the COVID era, even before I think. Like at the time, I wasn't even like a trader. Yeah, so like, I'm up pretty big on this. But I've been reading like a lot of people talk about this company. Like this Eli Lilly will be the biggest company in the world, and it's pretty like realistic case from what like I can reading about. And like, it makes sense, right? The logic of it makes sense too. But I kind of want to. We got a bigger retrace. We would have bought some more. Like obviously, this is like a pretty good opportunity, but wasn't allocating to this at this time. Yeah, very interesting company. Like reading about the Lily pod and the dark pods they have is, or not the dark pod, the dark factories is pretty interesting. Like the fact that they're like gonna be mass producing like retatrutide and all that crap. Boom. Very interesting. I'm interested to share some literature with me. I mean the TLDR, like they're just at the intersection of everything, right? Like AI, longevity, both from the like actual health perspective, but also just like cosmetic health developments. And they also have like they not only are they like leveraging AI to like manufacture and do their own research, but they also have like their own massive build out of like physical AI infrastructure. And they have like a shit ton of proprietary data. Is the other thing. Yeah, yeah. Biggest company in the world. Yeah, like the highest market cap. Like it's gonna surpass like Apple and Nvidia kind of thing. I think they'll be bigger than SpaceX after Elon. Probably not. Probably not. But I think that this company will like get there first. Like I don't see SpaceX becoming like crazy. Let's just think about like the SpaceX, right? Like what are they trying to achieve? Like mining fucking asteroids, setting up like a base on the moon that can then launch things out into the further orbit, or like out of like our like Earth's vicinity, right? But like the big problem with launching things on Earth is that gravity is super high, so that's why they want to build like the moon base. It's like it lowers the cost of launches so much because there's so much less gravity there. But like we're not even like we haven't even landed on the moon in forever. So like we're a long ways from that to building a launch station on the moon. And like yes, like obviously Starlink and whatnot is like a good technology, but like I don't think that alone is gonna push SpaceX to be the most valuable company on the planet. I guess the real question is like how soon they can get these reusable rockets online. Because they do basically have a monopoly, right? Like SpaceX launched, like I don't know what the number is, like 85% or like 90% of satellites on the planet are launched by SpaceX last year. So they basically have like a monopoly on launching things into space as is. So if they can increase the rate of that, like how does this impact the valuation? I'm not sure. I got another video about SpaceX if you want, if you're interested, sure. Yeah. Also, I don't know if you guys have ever watched an actual SpaceX channel. They have a YouTube channel. It's pretty cool. And they upload stuff like more regularly. And like the cinematography of it is pretty well done. Pretty well done. I don't know if you put the link or not. But if you're gonna put the link, like I don't think you can post like a straight up links in the YouTube chat. So you have to put the name of the video or just put like the last part, like copy paste, or put it in the Discord. On my mind. I'm searching the video 1 moment. Sure. Maxinomics. Let me close this. I probably know everything he's talking about. Listen to this guy's points. Whatever, it's a 10-minute video, whatever. Might as well just throw her on something to do for a bit. Because there's really not much to do in terms of these charts, right? It's like we're already... Well, all this overnight stuff is kind of irrelevant. I already have everything in mind for tomorrow. And for this, we're just waiting to see what happens, right? Are we going to start to go back up here? Or are we coming back down to the zone? What is Gucci? Let's give that a pause. This there. Switch our layout. And we'll adjust this a little bit. Get sponsor block. Why add YouTube Premium? For what? I don't get ads.
The size of a small house, 17 feet tall, 34 feet long. An empty chamber sits at the tip of their workhorse rocket. Yours to fill for the right price. They'll make sure it gets there. So how much would you pay to put your stuff inside? Because without this empty space to put stuff in, the rocket is of no use. It doesn't matter if it lands itself. It is the scarce resource the company controls that few others can offer. This space is the business of SpaceX. Understanding how to maximize each cube that space can be broken down into, that is how you understand the potential, the problems, and the promise of SpaceX.
Not for ads or removes embedded sponsors from videos. Oh. But like YouTube has that built in. Like I didn't press the button, but if I did that, it would have skipped it. I had like that button shows up automatically, like via YouTube. You like auto detected, I suppose.
Let's fill it. And let's start with the thing they put in there most. The thing that ends up explaining the entire company. A Starlink satellite weighs about as much as a grand piano, 525 kilograms, 1,000 pounds, flat, plain, mass-produced. 70 of them are made every day. Each one costs about $800,000 to make. That grand piano, parked 400 miles up, whipping around Earth at incredible speeds, quietly continues to bill its customers long after the rocket has landed back on the pad. Spread the whole Starlink business across all the satellites doing the work.
It was automatically. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll consider. I guess I don't really have an issue too much with like sponsored ads in people's videos. Plus, I mean, I guess it is a bit shitty of us to. I don't know actually. How do they monetize this exactly? At the end of the day, people are giving us a shit ton of free content, right? The least you can do is watch like a 5-second sponsored video thing in their video.
And one of them pulls in $1.5 million a year. Think about that. In year one, it costs $800,000 to build, but then it earns double that every year for 5 years, and only 5 years, by design. At the altitude SpaceX chose to place them, the atmosphere places enough drag, friction on the satellite that it will eventually succumb to Earth's gravity, friction that causes it to catch fire and burn up as it sinks deeper into the atmosphere. So you don't get to count its revenue forever, you count it over 5 years, each one throwing off a total of $7 million before dying in a ball of fire. This is the only piece of math that matters in this whole video. Take the lifetime revenue of that satellite, divide by its weight, a ton of Starlink, riding in that chamber returns $13 million over its life. Hold on to that number, $13 million, because SpaceX has two completely different things it can do with the area at the tip of that rocket. Option 1, sell the seat. Somebody, a company, a country, NASA has a satellite they need in orbit. SpaceX sells them a ride. A dedicated Falcon 9 runs about $74 million and can
It's not shitty. I'm seeing some YouTubers say it's okay. They get paid regardless. Yeah, that's what I figured. That's why I was like curious thinking about it. But like, yeah, it makes sense that they just pay for the video time because they don't really know in either way. But I don't know. I find like the buttons are good enough. Well, I'll consider it. So the only time like I don't have the button to use is like if I'm on mobile with like the screen turned off. I'm just like, listening to it while doing something else on my phone, or my phone's in my pocket. In which case, I don't know if this sponsor block even works on mobile.
can carry 17.4 tons in orbit. They light the rocket, the fairing opens, the thing floats out, and the transaction is over. They got paid once. You keep whatever your satellite earns for the rest of its life. For that ton of lift, SpaceX paid $4 million one time. Option 2, don't sell the seat. Put their own grand piano in it and collect $13 million over 5 years. $4 million once, or $13 million. The rent rolling in over half a decade. The same space, 3 times the money. At least 3 times the money. Because for every Starlink they send up, the product gets better and attracts more users. That is the metric. Forget the rocket landing on the board for a second. The right way to judge SpaceX is return per ton. How many dollars does 1 ton of that scarce chamber earn over the lifetime of whatever you put in it? Everything that goes up must pay. Once or many times. SpaceX figured out that option 2 is worth at least 3 times more than option 1. But none of that math works if the chamber is expensive to launch. And for 40 years, it got more expensive, not less. Let's go back to where it all began. This is the price.
Yeah,
of
it's pretty
all the
crazy. Like compared to NASA, like SpaceX has dropped the cost of bringing things into space by like orders of magnitude, like 20x, 50x reduction in cost,
But 1 kilogram
and continuing to like lower it.
And the natural assumption is it goes down over time, right? Technology gets better, things get cheaper. Well, that thought. It went up. The Saturn V, the rocket that took us to the moon, put a kilogram in orbit for about $12,000 in today's money. And then we built the thing that was supposed to fix all of that, the space shuttle. Designed to be reused, fly again and again, bring the cost down. The space shuttle was the most expensive way human beings have ever reached orbit. About $80,000 a kilogram. All in. Of all the rockets we developed, the reusable one was the worst one. Until April 2016, when a private company landed a booster on a barge in the middle of the ocean and flew it again. The price of a kilogram to orbit fell more than 20-fold. The fuel, the kerosene.
It's Chrome extension. It's free too. Well, that's suspicious. They must be doing something. They must be getting something out of it. Oh, interesting. Interesting. We'll make note of it.
Kerosene and liquid oxygen you actually burn is about 0.3% of the cost of a rocket, a third of 1%. Everything else is the machine. For 60 years, we just threw the machine in the ocean after one flight. SpaceX, a business that cannot lose money forever and keep operating, stopped throwing away the machine. One of their boosters has now flown something like 34 times. This is the Falcon 9, the workhorse rocket. This part is the booster, the most expensive part. It costs $30 million to build. This is the second stage. It holds the payload. It costs about $10 million to build. When a Falcon 9 takes off, its boosters burn almost all their fuel to push the second stage to the edge of Earth's atmosphere. Once there, it disconnects from the second stage and begins falling back to Earth under the weight of gravity, tumbling and tumbling until flip burns the rest of its fuel, landing itself back on the pad. The second stage has one engine in it. Once disconnected from the booster, it kicks on, burning just long enough to get the payload to wherever it needs to go. Doors open, stuff is pushed out, and the second stage says farewell, a final farewell, because it will use the remaining fuel it has to head back towards Earth, so it isn't left floating in space. The second stage is not reusable. It is intended to burn up in Earth's atmosphere. Single use. All in, the cost to build one from scratch and then launch the whole Falcon 9 one time is about $45 million. SpaceX will sell you the entire chamber, your own private ride, for about $77 million. Sell the seats and SpaceX makes $32 million. Fill the seats with Starlink satellites, or as we'll see shortly, other potentially more profitable things they want to make, and they'll make $171 million. Once that booster has flown one time, it's paid for itself. Getting ready to fly again costs just $1 million, so for every additional time the booster flies, sell the seats, and they'll now make $61 million. Or fill with Starlink satellites, and that becomes $200 million. There were conversations about Starlink from what I understand early in the company's history, but it wasn't the original game plan. SpaceX set out to sell the space on its rockets. That was the intention. About a decade ago, that changed dramatically. SpaceX flew 165 Falcon launches last year, a record. More than half of every orbital launch on planet Earth by one.
Recommended about lots of IP. Yeah, I wrote it down. I'll look into it later. I have a note from on my laptop to do it. I was gonna say though. Damn, I was about to say something. Fuck. What was I gonna say? Damn. I'm trying to remember what you just mentioned, because it was something about the SpaceX thing. Oh yeah, I want to go look at one of these launches. Like, apparently, it's like a pretty crazy experience to like actually go see it in person. Like, you can like feel the Earth shaking and whatnot when you're like way back from the in the viewing area. It's pretty crazy, right? You're like kilometers away, and you can just fucking feel the Earth and the heat moving. On top of just seeing this like massive thing that's like the size of a building just flying into the air. I'm definitely gonna go out to see this at some point.
One company. 123 of those were carrying SpaceX's own Starlink satellites. 3 out of every 4. Every other rocket company on Earth builds a rocket and then waits for the phone to ring. Boeing builds a rocket and waits for NASA to call. SpaceX builds a rocket and calls itself. 123 times last year. It works. We now know that more than half of all the money they make comes from Starlink. From people like myself, I actually do have Starlink, I have to, who do not have other internet options available, saying, I will pay you for that. It is the one part of SpaceX that reliably, consistently turns a profit. The launch company became its own best customer. If you saw the Taiwan video I did a couple months ago, you know the idea of an anchor tenant, the customer that you can count on, that will buy everything you're willing to sell to them. You want to do something new, expand, build a new factory, you call them up. Taiwan Semiconductors was Apple. One dominant customer whose presence makes the entire thing work, who you have to attract and keep and pray never leaves. Being a landlord and tenant, you never have to negotiate. You never have to worry the tenant walks. You collect both checks, the cost of the lift and the lifetime revenue of the thing in the seat. Stop me if any of this sounds familiar, like you've heard this story before, maybe about 150 years ago. In 1880, if you bought the American stock market, you were basically buying railroads. Not a piece of it, not a big sector. 60% of the entire market.
SpaceX Command Center shakes like crazy. Yeah, I saw in the videos when they were doing the launches. Yeah. Like I'm surprised that it shakes when you're like super far, when you're just like a not a SpaceX employee and you're like way off, like in the designated viewing area for like just normal citizens. It's a lot further than the SpaceX Command Center. But yeah, the SpaceX Command Center, yeah, I saw it. It's like going crazy in there. It'd be pretty cool to be in there watching it when it blows up and fails. It'll probably be pretty crazy sight to see, right? Just like some massive mushroom cloud going into the sky. Yeah.
Railroad stocks. For a stretch of the 1800s, the U.S. stock market was almost entirely a market of railroads. They were so big, they basically invented the modern stock market because nothing else on Earth needed that much money at once. Until that point, everybody needed a ride. The railroads owned the only one. If you want to move yourself, your cattle, your grain, your steel from here to the other side of the continent, you paid the railroad. The way they measured it was the ton mile, moving 1 ton, 1 mile. A wagon was not cheaper. A wagon charged about 15 cents a ton mile, and there's about a 50-50 chance of dying along the way. The railroads got it under a penny. I do love a good historical connection, especially ones that go just a little bit further, like we're about to do. Trucks, planes, boats, they all move your stuff at a fairly cheap rate, but the railroads are special because they own the land they're built on. Not land that was purchased, given. The U.S. government desperately wanting rail lines built, handed them the land at the end of the track and all around the track. 10 square miles of the American West for every mile of track they laid. Add it all up, and the railroads were given about 175 million acres. That's an area bigger than the size of Texas. More than a tenth of the entire United States. The Northern Pacific alone got 44 million acres. Racing to connect the Pacific to Atlantic, it was a true race between the Central Pacific Railroad and Union Pacific. Because to incentivize them to build, for every mile of track laid and verified, the government immediately awarded the land 200 feet on either side of it, and then 1 square mile of land next to it, alternating out in a checkerboard pattern. Land the railroads could, would, and did turn right around and sell to everyone they were giving rides to. They owned the town. You got off in, they built the grain elevator, the hotel, sold you the lot you built your house on, the ride, and the destination. And that, owning both ends, is what turns dumb pipes into a very nice business. Transport businesses, most of them anyway, are sometimes called dumb pipes because there's nothing special about them. It is a pipe you put your stuff in one side of, some time passes, and it comes out the other side. You give your stuff to a trucking company, and all you expect is for your stuff to get to point B. Ships, trucks, these are all very hard, very up and down businesses because there isn't much.
This Maxonomicus guy. Never seen him before. We'll give him a sub for now. See if other interesting videos come up.
One shipping company can offer that's better than another shipping company, except price. So they're constantly in a battle to offer lower prices, but not so low that they end up going out of business. Ships do not own the ports, trucks do not own the highways, railroads were the only ones that morphed into something bigger. That is exactly what SpaceX is doing. Launches the track, Starlink is the land grant, the orbital shell is the spectrum, the slots up there. SpaceX is claiming them the only way you can on the frontier, by getting there first and occupying them. It owns the ride orbit, and it owns the most valuable real estate at the destination. Now, of course not. No, of course, I did not leave out planes. The thing that flies like a rocket? Well, that is all the airlines have in common with SpaceX, because the airline is the opposite of the railroad. It is the cautionary tale. An airline flies you between two airports it does not own. The government built those and assigns the gates. The airline flies you to a city for a $5,000 business deal, and it captures the $300 fare once. And not 1 cent of the deal you flew there to close. It owns the ride, and it owns nothing at either end. After 100 years of doing this, here's where the airlines ended up. Last year, every single major U.S. airline spent more to fly a seat 1 mile than they earned selling that seat. The actual act of flying you somewhere, they lost money on that. They turned a profit anyway through credit cards. They are functionally credit card companies that happen to own planes. They gave up making money on the ride itself long ago. That's what you become when you own the ride, but neither end of the trip. You fight over pennies a seat mile forever. The railroad owned the destination, and the airline owned nothing. And that single variable, do you own the place you're going, is the difference between a wealth machine and a margin trap. The June jobs report just dropped. 57,000 jobs added. Forecasters expected 115,000. So we got half. But here's the fun part. One headline, far worse than feared. Another headline, same report, same day. Unemployment falls to 4.2 for making videos like this possible. Let's get back to it. So let's go back to the chamber and ask the question that decides what SpaceX is worth next. If return per ton is the game, if the whole company is a machine for finding higher and higher value things to put in that ton of space, is a grand piano that earns $13 million to peak, is that as good as it gets? Data centers does electricity and water. Earth is running out of both. Space has free solar power and a vacuum to dump heat into. So ta-da! Put the data center in space. And sure, all true. It's also kind of the boring part, and it skips right past the actual idea. Someone connects to Starlink. They beam data up, and the satellite beams data back down. That's the whole job. Data goes up one side, the same data comes back down somewhere else. It's a pipe, a beautiful, expensive pipe in the sky, but a pipe nonetheless. The bits that come out are the bits that went in. I called ships and trucks dumb pipes, and I mean that with deep respect for the people who do those jobs and run those companies. It is a hard, extremely competitive business. Starlink is a dumb pipe too, a gorgeous high margin one, but all it does is move something from one spot to another unchanged. So if you want that ton of Starlink to earn more, you really only have 2 moves. 1, cram more subscribers on each satellite, more people paying to use the same pipe. Or 2, you stop moving the data and you start changing it. You send something back down that's more valuable than what went up. Same chamber, same rocket, but instead of an internet relay, you bolt in a single rack of powerful AI chips. You unfold a solar wing 230 feet across, wider than a 747, and you park it in orbit. Data still goes up, but it doesn't just bounce off and come back. It goes into the chips and it gets transformed. Either it's training an AI model or it's a question you're asking one. And what comes back down to Earth is an answer that did not exist when the signal left the ground. If Starlink ships bits across the sky, then this AI satellite, or whatever you want to call it, manufactures them. It's the same reason a barrel of oil is worth $50 and the gasoline you refine out of it is worth 110. You didn't move the thing somewhere. You did something to it. It is a refinery in orbit. People want to make this about the cheap power up there, and yeah, fine. The factory goes where the power is cheapest. Same reason we built aluminum smelters next to dams a century ago. But that's not the insight. The insight is what the ton does once it's up there. Transport value or create it. Step by step, we have gone from taking someone else's stuff up, 4 million per ton, taking Starlink satellites up, 13 million per ton, taking computer chips up, 10 million at the low end, high end at 50 million. Is this easy? No. Fully proven? Also no. That is important to say at the moment this video will come out. However, it's also not a shot in the dark. SpaceX did this with NVIDIA chips last year to see if it would work. It did. The satellite went up over the course
Yeah, I
of
was gonna say, like, there's
model.
already chips in space, not some like foreign concept. Well, like, there's not like the mass equivalent of a data center though. So like, I'd imagine there's have to be some engineering changes for this.
Why, quite suddenly, the size of the rocket is by far the most important number in the company. Everything we've talked about, the grand piano, the refinery in the sky, rides in the Falcon 9 chamber, that little house, 17 by 34. Now it's time to fill this spot. Make the chamber 5 times bigger and the ton 10 times cheaper to fly, and something interesting happens. Starship is built to be the shipping container of space. The entire cargo of a ship would be unloaded by hand. 194,582 individual items, crate by crate, sack by sack, picked up, put on a board, and hoisted out of the bottom. 10 days to unload one ship until a trucking guy named Malcolm McLean built 58 boxes out of steel, 35 feet down one side, 8 feet across, 8 feet tall. Put everything in the box, put the box on the boat, same amount of stuff loaded in one day. The ship left Newark, New Jersey, and landed in Houston 5 days later. Voyage complete. The accountants were shocked to find the cost to load a ton of cargo onto the ship went from $5.86 down to 16 cents, 36 times cheaper. Once moving a ton across an ocean was almost free, it stopped making any sense to build things near where you sold them. You built them wherever was cheapest and shipped them in. Cheap transport moved stuff, yes, but more importantly, it moved entire industries. Starship is the shipping container. That's what this is. Now, what does this look like in real life? Starship is intended to be the shipping container of space, built to carry on the order of 100 to 200 tons against the Falcon 9-17, and aiming to drop the price of a ton orbit from about $860,000 down toward $100,000, even $10,000 if you believe the long-term promises. At that price, things that we look at now as like, come on, data centers in space, make all the sense in the world. A 2-ton rack of AI chips you would never bolt to a Falcon 9, fine on Starship. The return per ton math gets hit from both directions. The cost to put a ton into space goes down, the value you get back per ton goes up. The newest Starlink satellites can only fly on Starship. They weigh 3 times what the current ones do, but they carry about 16 times the capacity. If one satellite could handle 100 subscribers at a time before, this would handle 1,600. A bigger rocket, cheaper ride, much more valuable cargo. And to be very clear, everything I've said from the AI satellites down to this part about Starship, it's not a forecast, but the stated plan is an active path of the company. So notably, Starship has put exactly 0 working payloads in orbit. 0. There have been test flights and test payloads, but we haven't gotten to official payload number 1 yet. The cheap ton, 16 times capacity, 1 million data centers, is a target on the whiteboard. It is not a thing that has happened. This whole SpaceX bet comes down to one question nobody can really answer yet. How often can this thing actually fly? Okay, it is time for the bits and pieces that didn't quite make it into the video. The interesting parts that I think are still very useful, very interesting. They just didn't have a home in the main thing. We can call them the footnotes. And this is number 1. The next step from here would be to ask, well, what if SpaceX wasn't sending another company's data to the AI satellites, but was sending either its own data to train their own models or generating responses to queries from people using those models? That to me, and this is contrary to
Thing is,
what
I
I
think
looks like the
you
reason
kind of
they-
have to do this, right? Like, I don't know if anyone's been following like these like data center protests that are happening. It's pretty ridiculous. I mean, there's actually like a notable amount of AI data centers that have been like canceled / delayed because of it. It's not some like random like, you know, rounding error, like 1% of data centers. It's like 30-40% have been canceled. People are stupid. And I can imagine in the future as like AI displaces jobs or people like try to like actually go and like burn these facilities down and whatnot. So like putting them in space where no one can do anything to them is like the ideal scenario.
Cursor. It's like Claude Code or OpenAI's Codex. It's a pure coding tool. The market for that tool has already been proven. People will absolutely pay for it. So if you were to look at this, how to maximize the return per ton problem, the way you should in the way in which I think they are, you would look at the data stream going up to these AI satellites the same way. Why get the one-time payment to train someone else's model when you could train your own and make money off the result? Only makes sense if you have a product that people want, and that is Cursor. It also takes some general risk out of the AI satellite idea and the data centers they're also building on the ground. Number two, there are many other companies attempting to do reusable rockets. Blue Origin and Rocket Lab are the two others that are the farthest along that have in some form launched a rocket and recovered the first stage, either on a floating platform like SpaceX or with parachutes. Blue Origin has launched a recovered rocket a second time. This makes it seem like these companies are right on the heels of SpaceX for reusable rockets, and they're definitely going to get there for sure. However, Blue Origin has only launched a reused rocket one time, and SpaceX is not standing still. The lead they have, in my opinion, is 10 to 15 years ahead of everyone else. Many others would say 5 to 10, so assume I'm being overly generous about that lead. But these things tend to compound. Having proven the tech, having proven a profitable business line in Starlink, SpaceX will find capital and talent much easier to attract, all while building on existing momentum. This is not a company that's trying to find its mojo. Number three, launch 100 Falcon 9s, make $22 billion spread out over 5 years. Launch 100 Starships, that's $130 billion spread out over 5 years. But if you launch 100 Starships with better Starlink or something more valuable in the chamber, that number can rise to $250 to $500 billion, which just means that Starship is everything. So I suspect that the primary thing that will move SpaceX stock up or down will be Starship making a successful flight with a real payload, and then additional successful flights with real payloads. If it fails, the whole timeline gets set back. If it works, everyone is going to start looking into the future at what that enables, which is much higher revenue. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. See ya.
True. I mean, I think everyone like they're gonna get there eventually, right? Like it's pretty hard to see a world where SpaceX does not succeed in their goals, even if they're a bit overly ambitious with the projected timelines. In my opinion. Don't.
Volatility hit. Let's ride it out, baby. Marcos trades. Volatility hitting. Chops go wild and the profits lifting. Targets that we missing. Back-to-back gains, second digits. Bulls and bears, they spinning. We just dance for the candles, winning. Cha-ching sounds in the mix. Every song hit, feeling rich, so rich. Price moving like a strobe in the dark. That flip, not a
Boom, boom, boom.
wrist tight, inches clean as silk. Profit pouring in like milk. Got two phones, both on.
Then you point out the fact that SpaceX is occupying space first, so they have the advantage over competitors. Yeah, that's what I was saying. That was like true, like the sense that like yeah, they are very far ahead of like recently like Blue Origin literally blew up their fucking launch pad. They destroyed the fucking whole thing. Which is like whatever, right? Like that's the whole reason why we test rockets, like stress test them. But like the fact that their launch pad blew up is pretty fail. It's like that's like a wild to reconstruct. But what's it called? Like they're way ahead of other companies, right? Like as the guy was saying in the video, like it's just the best talent looking to get into that sector is gonna be like drawn towards like the leader, right? But eventually they're gonna have competitors, right? Everyone's gonna figure it out one way or another.
Slow cruise.
I wonder if regulation come up at some point mandating the SpaceX share with these other companies. I don't think that's a concern. Like space is fucking massive. like okay, the surface of the Earth is already massive, correct? And now imagine you're blowing it up. And you can fill every dimension that's being blown up. Like on Earth, you can only have shit on the surface. Whereas like space, you can have like every like axis moving away, you can have shit. So like, the space is like borderline empty. Even with all the satellites we currently have. But like, there's an interesting long-term like conundrum. What's it called? Like, the Kepler effect, I believe. Like Kepler or like Kessler effect. Kepler. Or Kessler. Yeah, the Kessler effect. But essentially, it's the idea that like whether like a satellite fails due to like some mechanical failure, or if it's like some like nation state blows up your satellites, they the debris that shoots out from it becomes like projectiles that hit the other satellites, and then starts to just, and then like, it's like a chain reaction effect where like the first one blows up and the debris starts spreading and picking up speed, then it hits the second, and then that one blows up and that debris starts doing it. The next thing you know, you have like a chain reaction of satellites just all eventually blowing each other up, and then you have like a ring of high speed debris going around the earth over and over. No, because each satellite occupies a loop around Earth. Yeah, but even then, it's like a satellite is not that big. Like, sure, like that might be a concern, like, I don't know, hundreds of years from now, but like, right now, like, not an issue. I think people really underestimate, like, you're underestimating how big space is, right? Plus, like, the other thing is like you can have them like what's it called? Like they're not all operating on like one fixed plane for the ring. Then one ring can be this way, and the other one's like this way, and the other one's this way. And also like there's different variations of satellites. There's like low or Earth orbit satellites. There's ones that like go further than average. Yeah. If you watch that Moonshots podcast, they talk about it a lot, actually. Boom, boom. How many satellites are in space right now, anyways? There's a 15 to 18,000 in space currently. Over 10,000 of them are Starlink satellites. God damn, that's a lot. So let's just think about this, right? Let's think about the numbers. And obviously, this is like a bit, we're estimating a bit here because we don't know how accurate this AI result is. But it says that there's about 15 to 1,800 satellites. Or sorry, 1,000. And then the biggest ones are the size of a school bus, and they only get smaller from there. So like 15,000 school buses floating the earth. Fucking insignificant, right? It's like nothing. The lowest orbit is the best place for satellites. That's what I'm saying. They have an advantage. Other companies have a difficult time occupying the same altitude. It won't be. We'll have to go up to higher altitudes. I think it depends what the purpose of the satellite is. Like, I don't think there's like just some objective like best place to have it. I think like the best place like is defined by the use case of the satellite itself. Well, apparently, according to this, which whatever, we don't know how accurate it is, most of them are the size of a car. Like most of the satellites that are up there out of the 15 to 18,000 fall into the car-sized category. Interesting. Interesting. Cell phones can't get signals when the altitude is too high. Yeah, but that's just like one random use case. Like, let's just think about this. Like, suppose you want to have data centers in space. And you want to have like maximum exposure to the sun, which means like you don't want to be close to the Earth's shadow. Then like you want to have the data center like further away, and then you can just ping that data to like the closer low Earth orbit ones. So like those ones don't need to be close to the Earth, right? Like the Earth sends the request to like this layer, and then this layer sends it to like the hardware that's like further out, and just brings it back. Like so on and so forth. I mean, it's just like one example. Goal is to use the Starlink platform to continually update the robots on Earth wirelessly and command robots with the AI. I think the interesting thing to see is if like Tesla and Starlink or SpaceX like merge. Become like one massive entity. I think everyone knows SpaceX will acquire Tesla. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of people talking about it. But, who knows? Who knows? If he's smart, he'll let Tesla's stock drop, then buy Tesla shared SpaceX stock to acquire it when there's a low valuation. Yeah, I saw like me, Kevin, had like a whole video talking about that kind of concept, like nuking the Tesla price for that purpose. Boom, boom. Lots of interesting theories circulating around about that kind of stuff. What? What does this mean? What the fuck does that mean? Yeah, on the Tesla move in the after hours. It didn't really move a whole lot last time I looked. I got did it a bit. Damn. What is the index for this shit? Mags? Things starting to go. Interesting. Interesting. That's the earnings today. Yeah, it was earlier today. Like on market close. Today was like I think Google and Tesla were like the main ones. There was a couple though. ServiceNow, IBM. Boom. There's a Lockheed Martin tomorrow. It's a pre-market. And they just announced a bunch of stuff on like X not X, just in general. They announced a bunch of stuff. You know, it'd be a cool company to work for. Yeah, this right here. Why don't I trade tech stocks instead of BTC? I do. I was just talking to I was just talking about it earlier when you made that comment. Like, this whole thing about not getting stopped out was literally stock, right? Like I'm in a Palantir trade. I was in a Dell trade. I got stopped out on the remainder of it. Boom. But yeah, I've been trading this stuff a lot more, like in the time that I haven't been streaming. It was crazy. Like, how could you not be trading this whole time, right? Like, this when I wasn't here. Like, look at the moves that this all had. You can, like, if you look at any of like the optics, any of the memory related stuff, like photonics, etc., all of them went like kind of crazy ass pumps. Yeah, and if I go on my laptop, I have like fucking hundreds of screenshots of this shit. In my journal, I just look at some of the things that we traded on here. That's not it. A Tesla, Nvidia, Broadcom, Palantir, Micron, ARM, Marvell, SanDisk, CoreWeave, Light, Rocket Lab, did Circle, did MBIS. What else do we got on here? And some of these are like I have a repeat because every time I would be like in and out of the position and then like get back in like at another time, like on different legs. Is there any other one? Oh, G Vernova was another one. ARM, AppLovin, Eli Lilly, Robinhood, Microsoft, Snowflake. Yeah, a lot of stuff, right? I mean, I can just go on and on right now. Like, I'll keep scrolling through these screenshots, but like, yeah, you get the idea. Get the idea. Like Intel. And a lot of tech. I mean, everybody was like that was like this whole period. Like once you put in like the Iran low, like from here to here, like all these charts went crazy. Like these are like this is within this year alone, right? This thing went up like 400%. And if you look at all of them, it's like the same shit for all of them. Like from that time, they all went crazy. I'd aim like I never got to the AMD ones, but I had AMD as well. And I had like Dell previously. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, yeah. Like, I mean, all these charts were like pretty like straightforward shit, right? They just had like massive bases building out, or they just started pumping off like the Iran war low. Dun, dun. Yeah, we did Seagate 2 and this. Yeah. I was even trading some of the energy stuff, like Chevron. Boom, boom. Because like the other thing about trading these is like you have to think about like how much volatility they're actually getting. Like let's think about Bitcoin lately. Like look at these daily candles, like 2%, 1%. Like they're all like sub 3%, right? This is like a 6% candle. But in general, like not much volatility here. Whereas like these ones are having like massive balls, like 16% move in a day, right? 13, 10. And like if you look through all these charts, it's the same thing. So like when you're taking these trades, like on leverage, so I'm doing it like via perps. Like you have to think about how ridiculous that is, right? If I'm taking 10x leverage and this thing has a 15% move, I just made 150% in one candle. Pretty ridiculous, right? And the funny thing too about it is at the time, the funding, I don't know what's, I don't even know the explanation for this, but the funding in all these were like negative as this was happening. So I was getting paid to long these as they're having these like crazy pumps. Bum, 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 bum. And the other thing about it too is that, what's it called? Because these don't trade on the weekends, but the perps continues to run 24/7. from like Friday market close until futures resume on Sunday, the chart's like sitting flat essentially, but you're still getting paid for the funding nonstop every 4 hours. Yeah. And that was the other thing. The funding rates sometimes were so fucking skewed. Like you'd be getting paid a shit ton for the funding. Insane. Must be loaded. Yeah, this was definitely a juicy ass period of time, I'll tell you that much. Mega juice. But the thing is, I wasn't trading these with like crazy size because it's not that liquid. At least like on in the perp side of things. Like I remember, what I think it was Cisco. I think it was. Like at one point, I was trading Cisco and I was trying to get like a market order in. His price was like starting to run off on me, and I had a limit, and it kept like missing the limit. I'm like, fuck this, and I market smashed in, and the chart literally moved like fucking like 4% or some shit on the exchange. I was like, god damn, what the fuck? Like it printed a green dildo filling my order. How do I do the funding thing? You just have to trade like any exchange that offers perps and has the funding mechanism implemented. So yeah, like I wasn't trading any of these with like particularly huge size. At least like a lot of like the slower cap ones. But even in the higher cap plays, we're still not like as big as like my biggest Bitcoin trades. Because the other thing about this too is a lot of times I was like testing out different things that like I don't like trade with normally, right? I was kind of doing like the moving average approach, where you have some like moving average / like daily chart setups, right? Where you have some like base build out or some like high tight flag or like the high volume close like on Intel. And then like getting in on like the early morning washouts that sweep the previous day low into like a VWAP reclaim, shit like that. Or like inside bars that break the previous day high or the previous day low. All kind of setups, right? Kind of expanding our playbook. But ultimately, like after doing all that shit, I'm playing around with it. I still think the way I trade is like the best way to do it. Like it's just, it is the best way to get the most precise entries, which means that you can risk the most. Or not you can risk the most, but the risk reward trades are the highest doing it that way. Boom, 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 boom. But it is what's it called? It's a good to understand how these people trade, because the main reason I'm wanted to learn this stuff was to get like a really good idea about all of these other people, like all the different styles of trading. Because then I know what these people are looking for in the higher time frames to like add confluence to my own trading style. Which one do I use? Which one what? Trading style? Like the TPO and the volume profiles. For perp funding? Oh, BitGet. BitGet. But like, I mean, Hyperliquid offers it too, I believe. I think Hyperliquid has a lot of equities. And so does Lighter, I think. Problem is you can't use those where I live. They're all like fucking geo-fenced, so you can't I use it. Oh, interesting. It happened again. Look, interesting. Like when I hover over your message, it changes it to bitget, but this is what it shows by default. Interesting. Okay, so that's what that thing means. Good to know. Interesting. Boom, 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 boom. Thing looks like it wants to come lower, right? Looks like it wants to come get this level. Interesting. Leave a little alarm thingity thing right there. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if people are using it to like just hide his positions or what. But yeah, the funding was absurd on some of these. I couldn't believe how much money I was getting just for holding the position. What does that Chinese stuff mean again? I'm not sure. I think it means that like it's like I think it's like Google's way of like auto translating a message in the chat or something, which is odd.
We move risky, math in the clip, lifestyle 50-50. Yeah. Charts look calm, but the waves still deadly. High stake plays, every entry feel edgy. Cold eyes stare when the numbers turn heavy. Ice on my neck, but the trigger finger ready. Fade the herd, I don't follow no sheep. Yacht life days, but the grind don't sleep.
It's so hot right now. What the fuck is going on in here? Rank up the AC, boa. Boa. Love making money like that. Selling options is my favorites. Yeah, a lot of people do that. A lot of people do that. Dun, 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 dun. I haven't dabbled in it too much myself. But like, yeah, I have some strategies in mind for them. Like, mainly because like you want to take advantage of volatility, right? When like volatility is like price low. So like, where's a WP? So like, there's pretty interesting periods of time where this gets like quite low. And you can like kind of like leverage it for options. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating, right? Like options is like a whole nother game almost. Dude, there's just so many strategies for trading. It's unbelievable. Like, this game, I'm continue to be mind blown by this game, right? The amount of strategies possible is like fucking absurd. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. You know, another like couple because there's so many interesting use cases too, right? Even like stuff as simple as like, I suppose you want to take a trade on Friday on something, and it's like it's options expiry. You can like hedge your position for like very low cost, essentially. It's gonna expire that day. Dun, 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 dun. Combining options trading allows you to reduce risk while securing the profits. Yeah, yeah. Harshal Marcos. Hello, Harshal. Harshal Hedge Funds. Harshal Hedge Fund Incorporated. But they have daily options contracts now. Yeah, it depends though. It depends. It's like because it's not for everything, right? Only like certain products have that. Oh, am I? I'm amazing. I am incredibly blessed, living an amazing life, enjoying my summer to the maximum. Well, I haven't been streaming, right? Enjoying life, and I'm not living here. How are you? Yeah, no, a very good summer so far, and it's not even done yet. That's the best part. That's the best part. Boom, 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 boom. Just sitting here juicing, living life. Got me a legal money printer. Yeah, I was just joking. I don't think it's a hedge fund yet. What should we do? What should we do? What should we yap about? Boom, 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 boom. Wait, no, no. I just read your fucking message. Oh my gosh, you were funny. No, I was gonna say one of the there was a while ago on stream where I was testing out like a sub account, like running a certain algorithm from this textbook. Man, that thing went on a massive losing spree at one point. Massive losing spree. Dun, 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 dun. I was reading a pretty interesting like article. Like it was one of the banking governors in Europe. And basically they have like a fear of like a massive market meltdown due to like the increased activity of retail algorithmic trading. Like their notion, or like basically the premise of like their argument is that as more and more people use AI agents to like trade algorithmically, and all these agents converge in the same like set of algorithms, like momentum trading or whatever it may be, and they all trigger at once on some like sell condition, it would cause like a huge market fucking instability, and they'll lead it to crash, which is pretty interesting to think about. Thing is, I don't know if like there's ever gonna be that like how many people are really out there trading algorithmically, but maybe like 10 years from now it's just like super simple for even like the most non-interested person to do algorithmically. Search little big dick. Yeah, maybe I'll pass on that one for now. Really want to learn algorithm trading. Yeah, I think everyone should. Because like one, it like helps you like what's it called? Like you have to have some edge to trade algorithmically, correct? So it helps you understand like when you actually have edge or you don't. And also like forces you to like learn to understand the math if you don't. So yeah, and it's not difficult. That's the other thing. It's like okay, like the difficulty in trading algorithmically is when you have like a large portfolio and you have to have like correlation, like correlated and uncorrelated. You have to maintain certain amounts of correlated and uncorrelated assets, and you have to like hedge have hedging for everything on top of it. So like when you're trying to run an algorithm doing all this at the same time, then it can become quite intricate. But when you're just like doing like a single asset, and even more so single direction, like very simple, very simple. How do I use gamma exposures in my trading? I just look at the levels, right? Like I just go on unusual whales and see like where there's like huge amounts of gamma building up, like where the Gex flip is. It's just another way of identifying levels of interest, right? Or like see where like the gamma regime changes. And interestingly enough, like unusual whales like even add like a gamma visualizer now. Which just like draws like the levels on the chart. And then you can like monitor how it changes over time, right? Like, as like the expiries move out. Yeah. No, I'm gonna YOLO my algorithm and see what sticks. Well, the thing is, you don't have to like algorithmically trade using money to test. And you also can like back test it pretty easily. Like you have to be careful though, because you don't want to like let's say you make an algorithm and then you have like condition A, like enter on this, whatever it may be, like enter on something. And then like you backtest it and then realize a couple of times it's like entering when it shouldn't be. So then you add like another condition, like, oh, enter on A and this. And then you backtest it again and then you realize, okay, now sometimes it's like doing a third one. And then you do like enter on like A and B and then some like third thing. And like the more of these you're adding on, but the more unviable it's becoming. It's like less realistic because like you're like backfitting too much to the point that's like never gonna actually play out this way. You have to be a bit careful designing it. As corporation have different teams, right? Each team treats those as single assets. Depends. From the people that I've talked to, it seems like there's like there'll be one team dedicated to like equities, or there'll be like one team like dedicated to commodities or like metals. So like they're not all just doing one thing individually. Algorithm stock down by 1 share. Why does GC have that long wick? Yeah, we were just talking about that. We missed that trade. We were literally just talking about this like 20 minutes ago or something, like an hour ago. So this would have been like literally a perfect trade, right? But wouldn't perfectly filled right off the 786 naked point of control and go. Like down to the pick. See, guys, like, how do people not believe in fibs? That's what I don't understand. How do people not believe in fibs? How many times do you have to see this shit? Pixel perfect all the fucking time. I don't get it. But yeah, we were really just talking about this like an hour ago, how we missed this thing. The thing is, I wasn't prepared. One, I've been monitoring this chart on the daily, but I had not taken the time to like nerd out in the lower time frame. And I was at the gym when this was happening anyways, so. I look, it's not on my CFD chart though. Yeah, it depends. Like, all different exchanges have different wicks, or lack thereof. It's like Bitcoin, right? Like if we look at like the Binance chart on like 1010, this thing had like a mega wick to like 101. But if you look on like Coinbase, it came down to like 104. Or no, not even. Sorry, it was 107. Boom. I'm in a long though. Yeah, I was considering getting into it. I had an alarm here. I was considering getting back in. I, honestly, probably should have, to be honest, because I had an alarm to get like watch like the reclaim of the daily open and VWAP, and so far it's doing it right. But we've been sitting here yapping. I haven't been paying too much attention, so it potentially missed another entry right there, right? Okay, though. Okay. Because these dudes look like they kind of low-key want to bounce at least a bit. And then in terms of the targets, yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it's kind of look at this a little bit. Where's the 50? Yeah, like 428 is like a pretty good target, I would say. 428 around there. It's like the 50-day moving average is like right there, and it's a naked point of control. And in terms of like the fib, like what is that? And it, there you go, like right to 7.5. Wouldn't be a bad place to shave some, not be too greedy. You can do whatever you want to do though, right? Do whatever the fuck you want to do. Boom. Yeah. Shout out to Herschel, right? Juicing. The long hole. I passed my account before that. Not really. Not really. Like it could be there like 2 days from now. I mean, maybe even 1 day. Like one candle like this and you're there. Boom. One thing I'd be a little paranoid of is like this high up here. Like maybe it comes down and just like does this crap, cleans the high and just starts going lower. Boom. But yeah. Personally, yeah, I would try and let it get up to there. I might even go market in a small position right now. Just like a little bit of a YOLO. I think I feel a little guilty being late. I don't want to FOMO in. Dun. Yeah. This week has been mid for NQ. We got no news drivers. I mean, we have a lot of earnings. There's a lot of earnings this week and next week, and it's FOMC next week. So boom, 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 boom. Like we have had some pretty decent volatility, right? Dun, dun. What are the rest of the earnings like next week? What day would that be? Why don't I use deep charts? They're banger for looking at order flow. Oh, because I use exo charts. It's like the same shit. Same shit. Boom, 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 boom. I'm back for questioning the goat. Yeah. No, exo charts. I mean, deep charts sounds like interesting. I suppose that's like interesting because like I do watch the videos that they put out on YouTube sometimes out of curiosity. But at the end of the day, like they just copied some other platform. Like who did they copy? Like they literally took the exact same base software. I think they like bought the company and then just like added a few features to it. Deep charts copied what? Yeah, but Volumetrica, I think it's called. Yeah. So I'm not sure what went on there. I don't know if they like bought up the company to like use like their software and built on it or like what, but maybe I'll try at some point. Who knows? Who knows? The thing is like they have like the deep DOM, which is like equivalent of Bookmap, which I already have. And then in terms of all the other features, like ExoCharts has the same stuff. Although I will say one thing, you know what? One thing actually, I will say about deep charts that looks interesting is that they have the profile, like with the so like it's like the volume profile or whatever, but then on the other side of the profile they have like the delta. It's like a 2-in-1 profile, which I thought was pretty cool. When I was watching one of like the Fabio videos and he was using that, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like I like how they did that. Like that, they don't have that on any of the other software things I've used. Other than that, like seems to be the same shit. Dun, 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 dun. And you know what else is actually pretty good for people, especially for people that don't have like any order flow? Use Monkey Market Terminal. Because they made a lot of the features free, if not all of them, something like that. And you can do like pretty decent customizable order flow charts for crypto though, not for like equities, just crypto. Dun, 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 dun. So I think for free you can use everything, but if you pay for it, you can have more widgets, more chart layers, more layouts, more alerts. You get more historical data. But yeah, I mean, in terms of like getting the free version to have like footprint charts and whatnot, pretty nice. That's crazy. And the other thing is that it's very performant for like a browser based like charting software. It's a website. I mean, I think they made like a dedicated like app for it. But even on the website itself, like when you're like panning through the chart and whatnot, it's like it's buttery smooth. I like it. Yeah, oh yeah, interesting. Yeah, they added MMT Ultra. Interesting. It's a terminal apparently. Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna look at this in a few months, but yeah, it seems like they've added some more features since I last checked this out. So definitely suggest people check. Let's get the link actually. And just throw that on the screen. Boom, boom. And the other nice thing about this too, actually, is it makes it pretty easy to like aggregate all the exchanges or not aggregate them. With an exo charts, when you want to add a different exchange or start to group them, you have to like reload your whole layout, and it has to like download all the historical data for the other exchanges. As for this, you just like press it and it just loads and you're good to go. You know what I'm saying? Almost time for a juice box, guys. It's getting late. Getting late. Don't want to stay up all night. Anything that we have not looked at that we need to cover? Not really. Not really. Oh yeah, the earnings. I never finished looking at the earnings. Yeah.
Juicy tray, yeah, I'm locked in. Shot said go, so I dropped in. Price hit sweet like a mango slice. Took that feel, now I'm feeling nice.
Money dance on the P&L. That green look good, can't even tell. Woke up rich, no luck, no spell. Just fibs and faith, I play it well. Tapped in clean with the entry math. Volumes
You couldn't do this in a better way. God damn.
big like it hit the gas. Now the whole team popping, champs in the bag. Sun still up, but the bags got fatter. Phone on mute, but my text got chatter. She hit target, yeah, with swagger. Juicy move, now we talking dare.
Let it run, let it breathe.
Yeah, next one was gonna be pretty crazy, right? FOMC and it's like Microsoft, Meta, ARM, fucking Qualcomm.
Price in rhythm, I believe. Not a chase, just a tease. Trade so right, got a week in the knees. Juicy
We should probably check on the rate probabilities as well, even though I'd imagine them not changed a whole lot. Yeah. Screenshot this for now. Okay. Unless you guys got anything you want to yap about, we're gonna win our juice box and get out of here. I'm not trying to be up too late. Your boy's getting tired. I did so much cardio today. I'm exhausted. I'm in a calorie deficit. Goddamn. Well, the crazy thing is, man, this summer is so good, and I can't even wait until next summer. Goddamn. I'm gonna be fucking look like a goddamn fucking Greek god or something. Yeah. Please don't forget about. Okay, I'll listen to it on my phone. I'm definitely not putting that on stream. You're gonna do an Iron Man? I wasn't planning on it. What is an Iron Man exactly? Does that redo all three? Actually, yeah, maybe I will do that. Maybe I will do that actually sometime. I probably will do one of these actually. I have to train a bit more though. I have to do a bit more like less weightlifting based training and a bit more like endurance / cardio.
Lines on glow, watch you pull back. Marco's got the fibs on track. Deep retrace, now we attack. Golden zone, no looking back. 618, we in that tone slide. Touch the line, then I'm gone. Profit hit, I'm in my zone.
Yeah, I can't watch that video. I can't. I skimmed through that song for like 10 seconds and just could not do it. Could not. 1.9 kilometer swim, 90 kilometer cycle, 21 kilometer run. Thing is, I could probably do that now, to be honest. But like in terms of doing it like with a competitive pace of any sort, probably not. So like training for it would be to have like a pretty reasonable time. Because I can, but like the running maybe wouldn't be the easiest because I don't run like too often. But I bike a lot. I bike like every day. I just missed it too. Damn, it's August 2nd in the city where I live. There's an Ironman. It's sold out though. Damn. Yeah, and same with swimming. Like I like and I haven't like practiced swimming lately, but like I was basically like a lifeguard at one point. So I got the swimming shit on lock in terms of the technique. Dude, I definitely have to practice like the endurance swimming for a bit though. Well, we'll do it though. Actually, I'm gonna leave this written down. Thing is, right now I'm trying to be jacked as fuck. Like for anyone that's been following the stream since like when we first started doing them, basically, like you know, right? Like last year we were trying to like grow our back a lot, like back, triceps, and like we've done that. And like this year we've kind of been focused on like our quads and shoulders, and trying to like lean towards biceps now. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. But yeah, quads have gotten pretty big. Now I need to like focus on my hamstrings. And I need to keep doing shoulders. My shoulders are like hard to grow for me. Like I don't like train them well or something. I don't know, but I've seen a pretty big difference. Like I have like a cap. Like I'm starting to like a capped shoulder now, right? Like I'm starting to have like the shadow of it and whatnot. But they can get bigger. They can definitely get bigger. And then next year, the plan for next year is to just like maintain the physique I have and then slim down going into the summer. So I don't have like fucking look pretty jacked, right? Just like fucking abs, veins everywhere. Like, one paper cut away from death. Boom, 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 boom. And we're already trying to get kind of lean now. Dun, dun. But not lean enough though. Not lean enough. And I'm a little scared. That's the thing. I'm a little scared. That I'm paranoid. I'm gonna like lose like too much weight, and I'm just gonna like shrink in size. But yeah, we've been going hard, right? We've been going hard in the gym for like years at this point, ever since our hernia repair surgery. And then the results are starting to pay off. Okay. I mean, in terms of the juice box though, ain't really nothing to talk about, right? Ain't really nothing to talk about at this point. We covered this shit yesterday pretty in depth. Whoops. Whoops. How's this doing, by the way? Don't. I'm so tempted to just go like smash a small entry here. I'm gonna go look at some of like the option stuff for minors when I get off and see what this is looking like. Maybe I'll do it. BD. We'll focus on the juice box first. But yeah, I mean, really nothing has changed from yesterday, to be honest. We kind of talked about like this zone, which we got the bounce from, but like at this point, you would have gotten stopped out if you did take this. When we talked about the retest of the short, right? There's like multiple times where it happened. Well, like this is like the next level, and we talked about this down here. So basically everything we talked about yesterday still applies in terms of like potential longs. The only thing I would say is like, suppose that we hold this for whatever reason and start to like flip this back in this kind of zone. Maybe you can look for that. With the same context that we've had for the past few days now, where like you are quite late to the move. And as we like tighten up more and more, like sketchier and sketchier. Bum, 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 bum. We'll kind of just say like flipping yesterday's VWAP slash like the previous day value area high. I'm gonna go bullish or retest. Or if we start to like, you can also like market smash and a structure change. But like, yeah, somewhat risky. Somewhat risky. And other than that, like everything we discussed yesterday, we covered in yesterday's stream slash Discord. And same for the shorts, same for the shorts. And like realistically, I don't know if I'd be too keen on like okay, I'm gonna look at the low time frame real quick out of curiosity. Whatever loads. I was thinking, like, is there a world where you want to take like a bearish retest up here, right? Like whether it's like cleaning like just today's high or like this one up here. Problem is it's so risky, so risky. Like with this up here, and you just be leaving behind like a third unswept high. And like most of the liquidity is like not on these two wicks. It's like up here on the lower time frame. Yeah, a little sketchy to be looking to take these. Dun, 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 dun. But I think same story as yesterday in terms of like, suppose you do come up like, okay, the inverse of yesterday for the long, like how we talked about like this kind of thing. And let's just clean up some of this garbage. Like we were talking about this zone, right? The previous week high. We were saying how like maybe best bet would be to wait for it to like get above the VWAP first to get in. Same thing for the short up here, right? Like if we are gonna come up for whatever reason and reverse, like wait for the VWAP to get like flipped. But again, sketchy, right? Like these trade setups all in this little cluster are like pretty sketchy. I'm not a fan of them personally. Yeah. I don't think there's too much to really cover for now. Like, realistically, best bet at this point is if you're not in stuff, like just to be patient. But we'll leave it like written on there potentially. Clean local high into VWAP a loss. And then other than that, the same as number one for the longs, or the number two. Everything else we covered in yesterday's stream slash Discord. Are we missing anything? Are we missing anything? Not really, not really. Yeah, mean, the main thing I think the main focus point is what's happening down here, right? We talked about earlier in the stream, like this zone is like pretty important to be paying attention to. Cause like losing this is gonna be pretty suspicious, pretty fucking suspicious if you're like hoping to go higher. Yeah. But anyways, if you want to listen to that, it was near the start of the stream, I believe. It was whenever I was looking at this chart, we talked about it. We just kind of go flip back to when that thing was on the screen and you'll kind of hear the explanation. For now, we'll delete this. Not too much else to cover there. Yeah, let's get out of here. I'm tired. Starting to lose my train of thought. Trying to get sleepy. Kind of scroll up, see what's good in this chat. Shout out to Dev, our boy. Shout out to me. Posting up random shit in the chat. Shout out to our boy Harshal. It's been a minute. Good to know that you're still alive and kicking it, doing well. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, kind of usual shit. And back to the consistent streams for the next like 2 weeks at least. Well, that's not true actually. I'll be here streaming every day until like the 30th. After that, TBD. And by the 15th of August, I'm definitely going to be gone because that's like my birthday. So definitely going to be going back home to celebrate that. But we'll see how long the beginning of August I stay here. To be determined. I'm not planning one way or the other yet. We'll worry about that when we get there. For now, let's just stay focused on the grind, focus on the juice. Yo, good night, bro. Yeah, good night to you too. Remember, this August 19th. Yeah, so we have similar birthdays then. Yeah, August is a crazy month. Like, I don't know. It's just like obviously like purely coincidental. But so many of my friends like all have birthdays in that time span from like August like the 9th until like the 24th. There's like 15 birthdays. We all have a birthday in the same window. So between mine and all of theirs, I'm trying to like go back and do stuff with everybody, right? Just kind of enjoy life for a bit. And after that, summer's over, guys, right? And then fall is here, and then the winter grind is coming. So it's a time, like, you know, we should always be locked in. But, you know, it's a good time of year to just relax a little, right? Enjoy the last of the good weather before the hibernation season comes, and then we really lock the fuck in, right? Just when we level up, going to the hyperbaric time chamber. I like cruises. No clue, never been on one. No clue. Although I hear they're pretty shit. I hear they're pretty crap. So, no comment. No clue. Just double checking everything at the last second. Do we miss anything? Do we miss anything? Not really, right? No, whatever. We'll reconvene tomorrow. If I forgot something, I'll remember later. For now, it's best to just get a good night's sleep and be ready for tomorrow. Until then, I am out of here. Later. Later. Stay safe. Do not get got. Later.